portion of the residence where we're looking west toward the backyard, and that second photo is what you see there on the northwest side of the residence. So again, this is just kind of a close-up of what the addition will be, where the addition will be, and it'll appear here in this photo. And just another image of what the rear elevation of the property will look like after the proposed addition. I would like to note that this has already been reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission. It is in the LeClaire Historic District. A certificate of appropriateness is required, so that's been obtained already from HPC, and other approvals are pending the outcome of this meeting tonight. So I'll stop here and turn it back over to the board.
Thank you. So we have any for the applicant? Would you, whoever would like to speak, if you would come forward, please. Thank you. Please give your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Joe Hutton. My address is 402 Circle Drive, Edwardsville. I represent Miller and Mock General Contractors, and tonight I'm here for Tom and Penny May, who would like to have an addition placed on their home.
Okay. If you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is truthful to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
I would like to thank Cheryl Porter in her office for her assistance in this. We had several questions, and she was very helpful in keeping us on the right path, so thank you for your assistance in that. Everyone has a copy of the request for the variance, and the page that you'll see just notes the statement of owner's request for a variance. If you're interested, I can point some things out for you if you have any questions on that. If not, I can take you to the plan portion of it.
I think we proceed at this point. It's fairly straightforward. So,
You'll see toward the back of your packet there are fold-outs. The first fold-out you saw through your presentation, and that does show the area of the variance request, that it's only 18 inches wide by 10 foot 6 inches long, so it's 16 square feet roughly, a small area. But it is in keeping with the existing line of the building, so we would not be moving outside anything further than what already exists on the home. The third page shows the elevation, which you did see in the presentation also. I think it's important to take a moment and look at the rear elevation of the home, which shows the twin gables looking at you. And the symmetry is very obvious on this home, and so I think that's why it's important. The question could be raised, well, you know, why don't we just stay within the 18 inches and then we wouldn't be having to go through this variance? But it would definitely affect the symmetry of this elevation is the reason for trying to adhere to the original proposal. Is that clear what I'm trying to describe?
Yes.
The only other thing that I was going to point out is life, health, safety. I did look at the topo drawings and check the dimensions between buildings. And again, these buildings are truly parallel to one another along with the neighboring building to the north. And so there really is no change in the width between the buildings if this addition were to be allowed.
any questions of the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of this proposed amendment?
I'm here as the resident of the neighborhood and just in support of the.
If you would come forward, please. We'd like to get it on the record, sir. You give your name and address, please.
My name is Albert Pauley. I live at 1101 Lake Avenue, which is 3 doors down from this property.
Could you raise your right hand?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Testimony you're about to give is truthful to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please.
So I'm still Al Pauley, and I live at 1101 Lake Avenue, 3 doors down from this property. And I'm familiar from the description that Tom and Penny and Joe have provided me about the expansion to their property, and I think it would be compliant with the neighborhood. And I don't see it as creating any kind of obstacle or have any objection to it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Anyone else care to speak in favor of? Hearing none. No one else here? Anyone who would speak in opposition? Hearing none, staff will continue. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just take a minute and go through our findings of fact. So the zoning ordinance lays out standards for a variance, and these are the standard items that the board is to consider before they vote on whether or not a variance request should be approved. So I'll just run through these. The first one is the particular physical surroundings, shape, or topographical condition of the specific property involved would result in a particular hardship upon the owner as distinguished from a mere inconvenience or loss of revenue if the strict letter of the regulations were carried out. So our response to this is that this residence was initially constructed with a 6-foot side yard setback comparable to surrounding residences. Second finding of fact is the condition upon which the requested variance is based would not be applicable generally to other property within the same zoning classification. This lot is slightly irregular, just under 8,000 square feet, and the area was platted in 1910, so it's similar to other lots in the neighborhood. The third finding of fact is the alleged difficulty or hardship has not been created by any person presently having an interest in the property. So the residence was constructed consistent with surrounding development from the period. LeClaire was not within the city of Edwardsville when it was initially developed, and it was annexed in 1934. The fourth finding of fact is the granting of the variance will not be detrimental to public welfare or injurious to other property or improvements in the neighborhood in which it is located. So if the applicants are granted a variance to construct a small addition to their residence, it will continue and maintain that existing 6-foot side setback. So it'll continue that north plane of the house. It's anticipated that the requested 1.5-foot variance would minimally affect abutting property to 1109. And let's see, finding of fact number 5, the proposed variance will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property or substantially increase congestion in the public streets or increase danger of fire or endanger the public safety or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. So we don't believe that the proposed addition will do that. The requested 1.5-foot side setback would continue the same side plane of the residence and won't encroach into any other setbacks. The proposed variance complies with the spirit and intent of the restrictions imposed by this code. The applicant has requested a minimal deviation that extends the side plane on the residence along the existing non-conforming setback, so it is the minimal variation. And finally, that there is no self-imposed hardship. We feel that it would be considered a self-imposed hardship because the applicant was aware of the size and configuration of the lot. However, they're trying to work within the historic confines of this property and of the neighborhood in general, trying to maintain some of the symmetry of the home as has already been described. So staff's discussion on this is that the applicant has requested a variance to reduce the required side setback in order to construct an addition to the residence. The side yard for the existing residence is currently 6 feet rather than the required 7.5 feet, and the proposed 164 square foot addition would extend the existing side plane of the house and not encroach any further than the existing residence. It's planning staff's opinion that the variance does not meet the Zoning Board of Appeals standard for variance as noted in 7 for the self-imposed hardship. However, we feel that the variance request is in character with the surrounding area and is of minimal impact to the neighborhood. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Seems to fall into that line where it is pretty minimal, and as I said repeatedly, that it is following the lines of the existing buildings. Does not seem that would cause any hardships. In addition, there isn't anyone else here that speaks against. Any other comments, questions from the board?
I just want to make a comment that it's important when we're thinking about this stuff, in particular for the historic homes, that they remain livable. And I think their proposal is in keeping with that aspect. It's important that the housing not become obsolete. And I feel that this falls in that category.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone, if there's no other comments, would anyone like to make a motion?
I will move to approve the variance.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
McCaskill,
Yes.
Krebs,
Yes.
Hutz,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
The variance, please continue to work with staff and they'll guide you through the rest of the process.
Thank you for your time, we appreciate it.
Do you need any of your drawings or you have plenty?
You're welcome to keep those if you'd like.
Thank you. Is there any old business tonight? No old business? New business?
No, just, the next meeting will be announced. I don't believe we have any cases for May. So we're looking at the June 27th meeting. I'm sorry, June 24th
Okay,
meeting.
June 24th.
Works for me.
One comment question, we looked back at when is an appropriate time for election, if you will, of changing the chairman. I know we talked about that at one point in time, but
Yeah.
I just thought about it
Yeah.
earlier today.
So appointments will be happening, annual appointments for the city, I believe, on Monday, May 6th.
Okay.
Or Tuesday, May 7th. Okay, so Tuesday, May 7th. So appointments or elections for a chair would happen at the meeting after that, which if we're not gonna have any cases in May, it would be June.
Thank you. Just thought that's something that we all need to keep in the back of our minds, get ready for, and be prepared. No other business, motion to adjourn.
So.
Motion is second, we are adjourned. Thank you.
I would like to call to order the April 23rd, 2019 District 7 Board of Education meeting. Carrie, will you please call the roll?
Bertles. Here. Paul Pitts.
Here.
Della Riva.
Here.
Olson.
Here.
Deb Pitts.
Present.
Amatola.
Here.
Laurent.
Here. I would like to welcome all of our visitors and guests who are with us here this evening. We have many people here tonight because we have some very special presentations. On behalf of the administration and the board, Dr. Linda Andre, Superintendent, would like to say a few words at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Laurent. And you may join me at the podium.
Okay. I had to write something out because I'm not going to.
Okay, thank you. Tonight's a special evening as we have the opportunity to recognize Monica Laurent for her many years of service and our true appreciation for the work she's done for students of District 7. So if you bear with me, I'd like to read a little bit about her accomplishments during her 16 years on the Board of Education. She was elected in April 2003. During this time, Mrs. Laurent has served on various board committees, including the Policy Committee, Finance Committee, Curriculum Committee, and was the Citizens Advisory Committee Board Representative. She has also served as Board President for the past 6 years. Mrs. Laurent was critical to District 7 during the years of growth in student enrollment, which led to the construction of 4 schools and millions of dollars in health, life, safety repairs and renovations to school facilities. She's been a strong advocate for all students, and her support of curriculum studies and updates has ensured that even in the most difficult of financial times, students and teachers had the materials and professional development sessions needed to deliver high-quality instruction within the limits of the district's financial resources. Mrs. Laurent continues to be a tireless supporter of financial stability and balanced budgets. Her years on the school board include years of prosperity and years of financial crisis. Through all of these years, she has supported the many difficult decisions that have been made to restore financial stability. Mrs. Laurent is a strong supporter of the recently passed increase to the Ed Fund and assisted with educating citizens about the district's financial needs. Monica's knowledge of board functions, board responsibilities, and board leadership is evident as new members seek her out for advice on handling community questions and complaints. District 7 will miss her strong leadership skills as we move forward. Words of appreciation strong enough to recognize her for her service, accept a heartfelt thank you from the thousands of students, employees, and parents across the district. Thank you, Monica.
I want to thank you for the special recognition tonight. I want to start off with a story. My youngest daughter, who is now a senior at U of I, she's getting ready to graduate next month. It was her freshman year, and she was in a class where she had written 2 or 3 papers. And the professor stopped her after class and said, "I'd like to talk with you about your papers and your writing." He said, "Do you have really smart parents, or did you go to a really good school district?" And she very promptly said, "I went to a very good school district." So, but the school district is outstanding because of all the people in it. First of all, our students. They're always working in the classrooms, and I am always impressed with all the wonderful things they do in the community, all the service projects they do. To our faculty, our staff, and our administration, I want to thank you for the work that you do to make this district exceptional. People outside of the education field may never fully understand the hours that you put in. You do not have the kind of job that you just leave at the end of the day. When you walk out of the door, it's with you all the time. You are constantly working to make things better for people, to make their community better, and to make people better. I want to give a special thank you to Dr. Andre for all of her years of leadership to District 7. To be serving that long in one district for all the leadership that she has brought is phenomenal. She's an outstanding leader who I don't think any of us can appreciate all the amount of time she has put in all her years. She has to be constantly available to board members, to her other administrators, to parents. She's constantly a superintendent, and she won't stop being a superintendent. I was on the trail yesterday and I saw her and everybody stopping to talk with her. But I want to thank Dr. Andre for her years of leadership. To our community members, thank you for the pride that you take in our district. You support our students and you know the value of public education. To my fellow board members, retiring ones and the new ones who are here tonight, this is a very challenging public position. And I know how seriously all of you take this position. You work hard to make decisions, you bring people together, and you ensure that public education is safeguarded. You know the value of public education in our democracy, in our world, and you fight for it. Why else would you run for this office and stay in this public office? It's because you're dedicated, because you're a leader, and you can get the job done. I am proud of this Board of Education. You have accomplished a lot. Passing the referendum under Dr. Andre's leadership, a referendum that hasn't been passed since the 1970s, the constant decisions that you have to make to bring people together and to make the district better. I'm very proud of the work that you have accomplished. I look forward to all the wonderful things that I will read about in the newspaper and follow on all the social media and everything, because I dearly know that you will continue to make this district even better. I want to take the time to thank the press because for reporting the local news like you do. You are very, very valuable in a democracy, and I value the work that you do to help our community and our school district. It has been an honor to serve as a board member. It is an honor to work in public education. We get to see people excel, and we get to see people grow. We get to make a difference. Our whole democracy is dependent upon public education, what takes place in our classrooms, and what takes place in these boardrooms. So all of us, no matter where we are, we need to keep working hard to improve public education. And thank you for the recognition. Tonight we have members from the St. Cecilia's Knights of Columbus with us. Once again, they have made a donation to support District 7's special education program. I would like to introduce Tony Diaz, who is here to tell us about their positive contribution to students with special needs.
Thank you, Monica, for everything you have done. Hopefully you get some downtime and some good vacation time. My name is Antonio Diablo Diaz. As she mentioned, I'm the Grand Knight, and here with me tonight is our co-chairman, Mr. Spencer Chapman, retired Air Force Major, Jeff Tolliver, which, by the way, runs a great pizza place in town named Panteras, and also our chairman, Bernie Vermillion. We're a part of St. Cecilia's Catholic Parish Council for the Knights of Columbus 13216. And our charitable activities encompass an almost infinite variety of local projects. And our Catholic faith teaches us to love thy neighbor as thyself. One way we show this love is through the intellectual disabilities drive that we do each year. You see us in every corner wearing this vest, this lovely vest. And I'm happy to present the Edwardsville District 11 Special Education Department with our check of $4,787.76. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Come on up.
Yeah, you got the real check.
It's got the real check, by the way.
Is that good?
All right, thank you. Since the start, we have raised over $100,000, and I want to thank our supporters and donors, and God bless. Thank you.
I'd like to take just a moment and let our Student Services and Special Education Director, Adam Garrett, just give you, so that you can give your organization an idea of how much not only do we appreciate the funds, but the kinds of things it supports. So, Adam?
Well, thank you so much on behalf of our students and anyone who donated to the Tootsie Roll Drive. We know that's a big part of the community. We have had the thankful opportunity to work with you over the past several years, and your donations have supported growing our Special Olympics program to starting with no students participating and about 5 years ago to over 200 students kind of being a part of a number of activities that support uniforms, transportation, coaching, and kind of all-encompassing to having our youngest students of 3 to 5-year-olds getting to participate in a fun activity where they go out to Liberty Middle School and buy T-shirts and do things where they're with their peers and having a great time. So we're very thankful that the money to support our efforts in kind of including all of our students here in the district. So thank you so much.
At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Linda Andre, Superintendent, and Nancy Spina, Assistant Superintendent of Personnel, and Jill Bertels, Board Member, to introduce the recipients of the April 2019 Good Employee Award.
Good evening. Tonight we want to applaud several phenomenal employees in our district who give tirelessly of their time and talent to help students achieve success. We recognize the importance of their contributions as they inspire students each and every day. I will call the staff by building and ask that you come forward for your certificate and remain up here for a group photo. From Columbus School, we have Megan DeGrand, Nancy McDaniel, and Nancy Stallhut. Something about the name Nancy, I'm not sure. From Cassens Elementary School, we have Stephanie Burling, Amy Noascono, and Don Heffernan. From Glen Carbon School, we have Kylie Kuba. From Hamel School, we have Amy Ferguson and Becca Bundy. From Midway School, we have Stacy Cairo. From Lincoln Middle School, we have Gail Driscoll and Stephanie Pennington. From Liberty School, we have Megan Scannell, Kelly Keevan, Anthony McNeil, Alan Duncan, and Denise Bickhouse. Great crowd. From Warden Elementary, we have Carrie Fico. From LeClaire School, we have Judy Fujinoki. Who? I don't have her on my list. From Edwardsville High School, we have Tara Quinn, Allison Morrison, Jennifer Weller, Chung Baker, Amanda Hewling, Craig Colbert, and Eric Preto. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Laura Lynch from your school is here too. Laura Lynch from LeClaire School. I'm so sorry. I did not have your name. I don't think they have spelling. I didn't have one. Congratulations. Now you guys are going to have to get to know. Okay. From Goshen School, we have Teresa Riddle. From Woodland, we have Becky Artime, Sarah Einhorn, and Shannara Cox. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Good job. And from Nelson School, we have Tamara Johnson and Tammy Darty.
On behalf of the board, I would like to congratulate you one more time. When you guys go into your job, whether working in the building as a teacher, as an assistant, as a cafeteria worker, or some other service, you never know what student is going to be walking up to you. That student someday might become an auto mechanic. It might be, he or she might be a doctor. He or she might become the lawyer or a politician or whatever. And each of you help mold those children into what their future goals are going to be. So I'd like to congratulate you and thank you for your service to our students.
This is the time that we set aside for anyone wishing to address the board. Is there anyone here this evening wishing to address the Board of Education? Okay, we will now move on to our routine matters. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the April 8th, 2019 meeting?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Will you please call the roll?
Deb Pitts,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Bertles,
Yes.
Paul Pitts,
Yes.
Della Riva,
Yes.
Amatola,
Yes.
Laurent.
Abstain. We now have reports of board members, board committees, and special committees. We have Jill Bertles with the Personnel Committee.
Yes, the Personnel Committee met earlier this evening, and we are recommending the agenda to the full board.
We have superintendent's announcements. Dr. Andre?
Thank you, Mrs. Laurent. I thought it would be appropriate tonight for lots of reasons as we approach the end of the 2018-19 year, and also because it could be Monica's last meeting where we have a regular meeting, to just take a moment to talk a little bit about the dedication of our teachers and our certified support staff for the many, many hours they have put in this year on projects to benefit students. So if you bear with me, I'd like to walk through a little bit of just description of the many committees and how that's impacting education here in District 7. We're fortunate to have dedicated and professional certified staff members who contribute their expertise and talent on important projects that impacts thousands of students each year. Approximately 120 teachers and other certified faculty members have been part of several curriculum study teams and have spent literally hundreds of hours aligning curricula to state standards and designing instructional programs and support services for our 7,500 students. The programming and services provided to the children in our district are superior as a result of their efforts. Serving on a curriculum committee is a responsibility that is in addition to their work as a classroom teacher, social worker, school psychologist, or counselor. These staff members volunteer for this responsibility, and because they are committed to excellence for the students they serve, and we are so grateful for their participation. This year, we were very excited to begin something that will be ongoing for the next several years, and it's called the Social Emotional Programming and Services Study. So I'd like to give you just a brief description of that because it's very important to another side of the education of the whole child that we take seriously here in District 7. This year, our Student Services and Special Education Office initiated a curriculum and services study to update and incorporate the Illinois Social Emotional Learning Goals into support services and programming for our students. A team of 30 school psychologists, social workers, administrators, counselors, parents, and mental health experts are working on this multi-year study. Components of the study include review and adoption of social emotional programs that can be delivered to all students, development of a multi-tier structure for the delivery of social emotional interventions to students identified as at risk, adoption of research-based interventions targeting specific mental health needs, updating suicide prevention programs, enhancing supports for bullying prevention, and development of a coordinated mental health response to crisis situations. We also have the unique honor of collaborating with Dr. Lisa Horowitz of the National Institute of Mental Health in Bethesda, Maryland, to adapt an evidence-based suicide risk screening tool, an ASQ, and the brief suicide safety assessment for use in the educational setting. These tools will be used by school-based mental health professionals when conducting targeted screenings and risk assessments for students demonstrating need for screening and assessment. We're proud to be a part of that very important study, one of just a very few high schools in the country who are leading the way with revising an instrument used in the medical field now for use in high schools. So it has the impact on thousands and thousands of students across the country once completed. So we're really proud of the efforts of that committee. We also this year had the K-12 Science Curriculum Study Committee. 34 teachers on that committee worked intensively all year to develop a standards-aligned science curriculum that will be implemented in August. This group of teachers will continue to work throughout the spring and summer to provide professional development for other teachers and to monitor the implementation during the 2019-2020 school year. And as we've talked about, once we start curriculum studies, there are numerous committees going at one time. The K-12 Math Curriculum Study Committee has 41 members, and they continue to monitor the implementation of the new instructional materials, reviewing pacing guides, and studying results of the quarterly common assessments. These teachers have worked tirelessly for several years, first developing the aligned K-12 curriculum, and then when funds became available through began reviewing textbooks and digital resources for the full implementation last fall. And we appreciate their efforts and their ongoing commitment to that curriculum study. And last but not least, we've had a group of 14 teachers at Edwardsville High School serve as Schoology trainers this year, supporting their colleagues in the implementation of the first learning management system at Edwardsville High School. Their knowledge and expertise were instrumental in this first year as teachers were able to consult with in-building experts for advice and how to upload curriculum resources. So I appreciate the time. I thought it was a good way to end the year to recognize the many, many teachers who work behind the scenes and on their own preparing substitute plans for their classes so they can attend important meetings and work on curriculum that will impact thousands of children going forward, and we really appreciate their efforts. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We were just talking before we came down to our board meeting, we were talking about mental health and how, as a society and in public education in general, we have not been so open about addressing mental health. We like to push it underneath the rug and act like there isn't a problem. And some of you talked about how you saw a presentation today that is related to the social emotional learning with restorative practices. They saw Alan Duncan's presentation. They were tying all of that in. But this social emotional learning is so important I'm very, I don't want to say thrilled, because unfortunately it is something that we have to address as a society in public education, because it's number one. If our kids if they don't feel safe, it's more than just about being physically safe in a building. It's about being physically safe to grow, to seek help, to help others, to have open conversations with people, to be accepted. And I think this program will help our kids even more. So I applaud the district for doing that. Thank you to the administration for leading that, and the teachers. And also, it's related to trauma, too. And a lot of times we think that trauma only happens to a certain part of our population, but the big study that was done in the 80s, it was with people who had bachelor's degrees. And out of that group, there was this high percentage of people that experienced trauma, and what the trauma does to your brain and your brain development and your learning. So as we advance and we get better, we learn that all of these things have to be addressed. So I think I applaud the district for doing this. And again, I can't wait to hear all the wonderful things that come out of that. For all the curriculum, that is a lot of work. People, again, unless you're in education, you take it for granted that a teacher goes into a classroom and knows how to do this. There has to be standards, there has to be methodology, you have to work together. There's so much that goes into it if you're going to do it the right way. And the district has always done it the right way. And I was real excited to see the teachers that got to go to the National Science. That was in St. Louis. What a great opportunity for that to be here. And again, thanks to all the teachers and the administration, because nothing gets done unless there's leaders at the top making sure it gets done. And if anybody else wants to add anything. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, all right. Let's see. We have our action considerations. We have approval of personnel. Dr. Spina.
Thank you, Mrs. Laurent. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve personnel action items under Roman numeral 2, which were approved earlier by the Personnel Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Will you please call the roll?
Pitts.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Birtles.
Yes.
Della Riva.
Yes.
Deb Pitts.
Yes.
Amatola.
Yes.
Laurent.
Yes.
And Mrs. Laurent, we do have one of the
Oh.
people that you just approved here in the audience
Okay.
tonight, Anthony McNeil. Want to stand?
Oh. Well, welcome and congratulations. We have approval of April bills. Dave Courtney.
Thank you, Ms. Lauren. I ask that the board approve the bills through April 23rd, 2019, in the amount of $607,265.30.
Move for approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Will you please call the roll?
Della Riva.
Yes.
Deb Pitts.
Yes.
Birtles.
Yes.
Paul Pitts.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Amatola.
Yes.
Laurent.
Yes. We have approval of executive session minutes to be made available to the public. Dr. Andre.
Thank you, Mrs. Laurent. I have reviewed the executive session minutes from July 11th, 2018 through March 25th, 2019, and would recommend that the following executive session minutes be made available to the public. July 11th and July 16th of 2018, August 13th, 2018, September 10th, 2018, November 26th, 2018, and January 14th, 2019. I would recommend that the following executive session minutes remain closed to the public due to litigation, personnel, or student discipline. August 27th, 2018, September 24th, 2018, October 9th and 22nd, 2018, November 13th, 2018, December 17th, 2018, January 28th, 2019, February 11th and 25th of 2019, 11th and March 25th of 2019.
Move for approval.
Is there any discussion? Will you please call the roll?
Della Riva.
Yes.
Birtles.
Yes.
Paul Pitts.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Deb Pitts.
Yes.
Amatola.
Yes.
Laurent.
Yes. And we don't have any discussion items. Okay. This can call action for the board for the April 23rd, 2019 meeting. Is there any other business to come before the board? Are there any brief questions from the public to come before the board? Are there any questions or announcements from board members?
I just want to say we're going to miss you. Your love for education is inspiring, your concern for the welfare for all students is what makes you an outstanding president. I want to thank you for your service. We are all so grateful for it, and enjoy some, quiet Monday nights.
Then hit the trail. But I do want to thank this Board of Education again, because I just want to stress they're very difficult public official positions to be in, and they're the most important because it's at the local level where you make big decisions. And again, if we're not taking care of public education, we're not taking care of our communities and our country. And these people work hard, they make tough decisions, they just can't go around talking about a lot of it. But I want to thank all of them for what they do and thank the administration, especially Dr. Andre, for 30 years of dedication to the district. You're the first superintendent to pass a referendum since 1970, and I know I'm repeating myself, but I just really want to stress that these board members put a lot of time and work in the administration, and I thank you again for that, and I look forward to all the things that are going to happen.
I guess I'd like to make a few comments as well, Monica. Our history's gone back a long time. Our kids were little at the same time, and
you were Jeremy's aide.
I was going to say, yeah, I worked with your kids.
Now.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, probably close, not quite 25 years ago. So, and then 16 years ago, our paths crossed again, as well as coming onto the board. And one of your strengths was your kids were involved in so many different things throughout the district, especially at, school level, so you could represent several different areas, and you were familiar with the parents, you were familiar with the classes for the special ed classes as well as the extracurricular. So you could bring that special venue to the board as well as your history, your occupation, and it's definitely been a pleasure and an honor to serve with you. So
thank you.
Enjoy your Monday nights, as Monica, or as Terry said.
And may I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This meeting's now adjourned. Thank you.
I would like to call the meeting of the District 7 Board of Education to order. The purpose of this meeting is to canvass the results of the April 2nd, 2019 board election and seat the new District 7 Board of Education.
Due to Mrs. Lawrence's absence this evening, the board will need to appoint an acting president to conduct tonight's meeting. I would suggest the board appoint Vice President Leland Olson.
So moved. Do we need a motion?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? So moved.
Second.
Carrie, would you please call the roll?
Bertles.
Yes.
Paul Pitts. Della Riva.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Deb Pitts.
Yes.
Amatola. Laurent.
Okay. Okay. So now I guess we go to this part. We did that part, right? Okay.
Yes.
Welcome to the visitors and recognition for those wishing to make brief statements. We welcome the visitors and guests to our special board meeting. Anyone wishing to make a brief statement to the board, now is time to do so. Dr. Andre, do you have any comments?
No, I don't. Thank you.
The next order of business is to canvass the votes and proclaim the results from the April 2nd, 2019 school board election. Carrie, would you read the results of the vote total that each board candidate received on April 2nd, 2019?
The results from the April 2nd, 2019 school board election are as follows. Deb Pitts is District 7 School Board for a 4-year term with a vote total of 3,505. Katie Roberson is elected to the District 7 School Board for a 4-year term with a vote total of 2,998. Jill Bertles is elected to the School Board for a 4-year term with a vote total of 2,563. John McDowell is elected to the District 7 School Board for a 2-year term with a vote total of 2,981. Jennifer Brumbach is elected to the District 7 School Board for a 2-year term with a vote total of 2,665.
May I have a motion and second to accept the canvassing of votes?
So move.
Second.
Second.
Do we need a call?
Carrie needs to call.
Okay. Carrie, would you please call the roll?
Deb. Bertles.
Yes.
Paul Pitts. Della Riva.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Amatola. Laurent.
This concludes the canvassing of results and all action of the current Board of Education. If there are no further comments from the current board members, we adjourn Scene D. We are pleased to have with us Judge Sarah Smith to administer the oath to elected board members Deb Pitts, Katie Roberson, Jill Bertles, John McDowell, and Jennifer Brumbach to the District 7 Board of Education. We ask them to come forward at this time and receive the oath of office.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully discharge. The duties of the office. Of member of the Board of Education. Of Edwardsville Community Unit School District. Number 7. In accordance with. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the State of Illinois. And the laws of the State of Illinois. To the best of my ability. I further swear that. I respect taxpayer interests. By serving as a
faithful protector of the school district's assets. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual, and the decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public school board meeting. And I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. Congratulations.
Carrie, will you please call the roll of the new full board?
Birtles.
Here.
Dalla Riva.
Here.
Olson.
Here.
Pitts.
Present.
Brumbach.
Here.
McDowell.
Here.
Roberson.
Here.
I would like to welcome newly elected board members Jennifer Brumbach, John McDowell, and Katie Roberson to the board. We look forward to working with you and making District 7 a school district of choice for our students, employees, and parents. The next order of business is to elect officers of the board. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for nomination of president for the District 7 Board of Education. Would someone like to make the nomination for president?
I'll nominate Jill Birtles.
I would like to nominate Jennifer Brumbach.
Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Hearing no further nominations, the nominations for the office of president are now closed. Carrie, would you please review the nominations for the office of president?
Board Member Roberson nominated Board Member Jill Birtles for the office of president. Board Member Dalla Riva nominated Brumbach for the office of president.
Carrie, please call the roll. Please indicate the name of the individual for whom you are voting.
Birtles.
Jill Birtles.
Dalla Riva.
Jennifer Brumbach.
Olson.
Jennifer Brumbach.
Pitts.
Jill Birtles.
Brumbach.
Jennifer Brumbach.
McDowell.
Jill Birtles.
Roberson.
Jill Birtles.
Jill Birtles has elected the new board president. At this time, President Birtles, will you please take your new seat to assume the duties of the chair to preside over the election of the other officers?
At this time, I on the floor for nominations for our vice president for the District Board of Education. Would someone like to make a nomination for vice president?
I nominate Katie Roberson.
Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president?
I'd like to nominate Leland Olson.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing no further nominations, the nominations for the office for vice president are now closed. Carrie, would you please review the nominations for the office of vice president?
Board Member Pitts nominated Roberson for the office of vice president. Board Member Dalla nominated Olson for the office of vice president.
And would you please call the roll, and board members, please indicate the name of the individual for whom you are voting.
Birtles. Dalla Riva.
I didn't name.
Oh, sorry.
Katie Roberson.
Leland Olson.
Olson.
Leland Olson.
Pitts.
Katie Roberson.
Brumbach.
Leland Olson.
McDowell.
Katie Roberson.
Roberson.
Katie Robertson.
Robertson. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Do I have any?
Yeah, just name.
Okay.
Name the new.
Okay, sorry about that. So Katie Robertson has been elected as new board vice president. At this time, I would like to open the floor for nominations of secretary for the District 7 Board of Education. Would someone like to make the nomination for the secretary?
I'd like to nominate Deborah Pitts for secretary.
Are there any other nominations for the office of secretary?
I'd like to nominate Terry Dallariva.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing no further nominations, the nominations for the office of secretary are now closed. Carrie, would you please review the nominations for the office of secretary?
Board Member McDowell nominated Pitts for the office of secretary. Board Member Olson nominated Dallariva for the office of secretary.
And would you please call the roll and please indicate the name of the individual for whom you are voting?
Bertles.
Deb Pitts.
Dallariva.
Terry Dellariva.
Olson.
Terry Dallariva.
Pitts.
Deborah Pitts.
Brumbach.
Lariva.
McDowell.
Deborah Pitts.
Roberson.
Deborah Pitts.
So Deborah Pitts has been elected the new board secretary. This concludes the reorganization of the Board of Education. With the approval of the board, I would like to make the board committee and liaison assignments at the regular meeting, or next regular meeting for the Board of Education scheduled for May 13th, 2019. And it is recommended before us, we have a schedule for the regular meetings of the Board of Education. They will be held on the second and fourth Monday of each month, with the usual exceptions of June, July, and December, when meetings are held on the third Monday of those months. Whenever the regular meeting falls on a legal holiday, the date of said meeting will be held on the Tuesday following the holiday, and the 2019-20 regular scheduled board meetings will be held according to the schedule each of you have at your placement. May I have a second to my motion to establish the regular meetings of the Board of Education?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Carrie, please call the roll.
Bertles.
Yes.
Roberson.
Yes.
Dallariva.
Yes.
Yes.
Pitts.
Yes.
Brumbach.
Yes.
McDowell.
Yes.
Is there any other business to come before the board this evening? Are there any questions or announcements from the board? If not, I will look forward to seeing each of you at our next regular scheduled meeting of the Board of Education, scheduled Monday, May the 13th, 2019, here at Woodland Elementary School. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.